Kaur. I'm 9 years old. This is my home and welcome to my home. CEEBEE Design helped me to decorate my home. I want you all to look around my home.
As you enter the property, what strikes you first is this. Well, actually, though it looks like a niche, which was always there with the property, contrary, we actually wanted to create a foyer-like look, because if you see the layout of the flat, it is very bland. I mean, as you come into the flat, you are directly into the living space. There is no conventional foyer, as we call it. So we wanted to create this section which stands out as like an introduction to the property. Thus the foyer. So what we did was, we also, as I said initially, wanted to create the bar area. So to differentiate that and create both these segments, we created a partition in between and then made it look like a wall. So it looks as if it was custom made for the foyer as well as the bar area. So we also wanted to give some storage, obviously, because you're coming in directly into the living room. You have got your knickknacks, you've got your shoes and things like that, which you can store here below in the counter. And on top, they wanted something serene yet welcoming, so who better than Buddha? So we went for this mural with again a router cutting on the side to give it that framework. Very simple, just a simple light on top, very welcoming, and ushers you in to this lovely property. As you come into the property, first you come into the living area. You have your sofa seating all around the living area, more like an L shape. We use the biggest wall of the room as the TV unit. So we tried out a lot of styles. We knew we wanted to do with cladding. But with the cladding also, we went through a couple of shade changes. Initially it was totally bland, then we tried out white and finalized on black, which is looking exquisite with the dark laminate. It had a beam on one side, but we didn't really want to make it look like a beam which is just jutting out. So we again paneled that as well, put some steel strips around it, did a white panel to bring out the option to plonk the TV on the wall, did a very, very minimalistic but little bit of storage look for the TV unit. And the ceiling is very simple, again, very bland walls, one wall with a little flash of color to give it that vibrancy. With cushions and the furnishings, we brought in a lot of light, but per se, if you see, it's a very subtle, very classic, mostly beige and brown finish. Again, if you see at the end of the TV unit, there was a little space there which we wanted to play with, but it couldn't be anything to do with utility because it was in one corner. So what we did is we created these cubes, some open and some closed with spotlights, which gives you a little decorative niche section. We again created a panel between the wall and the TV unit, just bringing the whole unit together as it comes and matches the seating area. Now with the seating, you will see that the smaller 3-seater sofa, actually you will see it's backed off to this one partition. However, this partition was made by us. This wall was not existing. It actually finishes where the sofa starts. But we wanted to extend the kitchen, which at that stage was just an L shape. So as I said, initially the kitchen was L-shaped. But we wanted to create more storage, and also we wanted to create a backing to the sofa. What you generally see is that if you've got a sofa which doesn't have a backing, it doesn't give you the amount of comfort that it does when you have a backing behind you. You can really relax. So we wanted to create that as well as extend the kitchen to one additional counter. So it's a dual purpose partition which we have created here, which I'll get back to you and explain to you later. So as you see this U-shaped kitchen, here it was completing here as per the developer's layout. So what we did is we created this section which is like a partition between the living and the kitchen. We created the storage beneath, and what we did is on the top we created these router cutting jalis, attaching it to the ceiling, and also a couple of buttons which again going up to the ceiling gives you the idea that this is actually a breakfast counter, separating it from the kitchen and the dining. This was essential because else it would just look like a counter which is in the kitchen. But we wanted to separate the section. So we extended this, these battens so that it could give us the space to bring out the counter, and then that has been extended in the ceiling, as you see. So it gives you a sense of a separate dimension in the kitchen, the living, the dining and the bar. My special bit in the kitchen are actually the tiles. So it is very bohemian, very unorthodox and very misaligned. If you see, no two tiles look similar. And they come like that as well. They come totally misaligned and you just have to go with your creativity and put it all together. And since we were going for a basically bland kitchen, very classic white, we thought it was really, complementing the look of the kitchen. Also, if you see the color that we have used in the shutter, it's also pretty unconventional. We have got a Duco paint finish in something that is a mix between olive and a turquoise. So we worked on that shade and that is what we finalized in the end, and we have never done this shade before. But as I said, the top half is fully white, so the tiles complement that blandness of the tiles and the white counter very well. Pralay wanted a bar area which was very clearly a bar section. It was not a makeshift that he wanted with just a counter, plonked in somewhere. So we had to create this space wherein there was enough area in and around so that you could actually access the counter at the back, have the storage on the top. We created these niches for either keeping your wine bottles or any other liqueur bottles, and also these shelvings to keep your your glasses and other bottles like that. There is storage as well below the slim counter at the back for anything that you would like to keep hidden in. On the front side, however, it's very minimalistic and mostly decorative. There is no storage in that area. It is an onyx panel actually. We wanted the light to come out and give it that little bit of a jazzy look. So they were quite sure that we wanted a 6-seater table because they entertain, they've got relatives who come over, for which reason, though this was actually falling on kind of a passage, we tried to keep open space on the side of it by attaching the dining to the walls, which ended up giving us a little more space on the walking segment. However, we wanted to create a wow factor for this area because we wanted to do something different yet not overtly gaudy. So what we have done here is we have taken the panel, which is again a laminate paneling, and we've put beveled mirror in between, cut them up, grooved them in between to give it that look, and then that goes up right up to the ceiling, and it's extended as well to give you the space to have decorative hanging. So as they say, you should finish everything with a celebration, just as you start everything with a celebration. So we're all sitting here with lovely Kolkata biryani, having our lunch thanks to Pralay here. And I was just wondering if we remember how did you come to know about us actually, Pralay? Was it website or?
Definitely from website, but after doing a lot of research for that, it was in my mind that I have to do some interior decorations of this new flat.
Right.
At that time, I made extensive search in the websites, which one is the best. Yes, I always prefer the best one. And after that, then I got your number, contact number, and as you know, I contacted first you.
Right, of course. Yes.
And that is the way it has all started.
Right. And then the designing started. Yes. I think there were a lot of back and forth discussions.
A lot of interactions at your office and at my chamber.
Right.
I can still remember Surajit and Meg.
Right.
They visited my chamber and we had few words how it has to be implemented or executed. Because it's very difficult. What is in my mind? How can I make you understand?
Absolutely.
Yes, this is what I am on.
Correct.
Right. So what I am visualizing, whether you can execute it. So that part, that was perhaps the toughest phase I have actually gone through. So ultimately, when I gained this confidence, yes,
you have understood my vision.
New flat and the project is in safe hand. Then it's all, very easy for both of us.
Right.
So from start to end, it's a very interesting adventure rather
Yeah?
than say.
Do you want to say something?
Yes, yes, of course. See, I have actually went through many profiles, okay, by my husband. I usually did not interfere into his decisions. But from the first day itself, I was very sure that I told him that please don't go away from CB because many people have come and visited us, okay, and they have shown their profiles and all the works they have done. But anyhow, I was very much convinced by the work of CB. Okay, and the thing is that people usually opt for a house only, but my option was always a beautiful house. So that is the reason I always thought of that, and I always opted for CV, and I also insisted my husband that always be with them and you always should contact them and go for it.
Right, right. And I think throughout our interaction and everything, I think there have been times when you have also helped me out a lot. Suppose for a client, because he's very good in research, I think he's actually scored the market. And
That is true.
Even for buying my own TV, I asked him which TV should I buy, from where should I buy. So I don't think we are just clients anymore. It's just it's a friendship that is always going to be there. And already Aishki has started our introduction. So we're going to continue with our lunch. Please go through the video and give us your comments. So this is Aishka's room. She's in class 4 right now, and when we initially met her, wanted to know what she likes, what is that's something we actually do specifically for the kids' room. We try and get into their likings, what they would like their room to look like, what colors they like, what are their hobbies, because I think what that essentially does is creates a connection between the room and the child. And a lot of our clients say that the children have started staying in their rooms more, they've started to sleep alone, and it's basically that one step to being a grown-up. I think she really likes her room, and we wanted to give her a lot of storage because she's in a class 4 right now. So as she grows up even further, her requirements for things, books, different stationaries, as we mothers all know, is unending. So we made sure that we did a mixture of closed and open storage, and we gave her a very extensive counter as well. If at a later stage, if she wants to sit over there and work on the computer or the laptop, or if someone else comes in, a tuition teacher who wants to sit beside her. So we tried and kept that. Also, we have this one window which is pretty green on the other side, and it doesn't look onto any other property. So we wanted to keep that essence of it, and did a small little seating with some storage also, because with children there is never enough storage. So and that seating I think is an extra bit of space for her, instead of being plonked up on the bed at all times, or if you've got a friend over, which you do at this age. So we thought that was really nice, and it really decorates the window as well and gives her that little bit of a nook.
Well, this room is essentially different from the rest of the rooms in the property, and this is because they had some existing furnitures. As you can see, this bed, wardrobe and dresser, these all were existing. They are having the batali work and some molding work which looks ethnic. So we decided to keep this room ethnic, earthy and with wooden finish. First of all, we started with the ceiling by putting veneer and polishing it to match the existing furniture shade. Then we planned a small TV unit with the same veneer finish matching the existing furnitures with jali paneling and a gypsum 3D panel design board. You will also notice the ply paneling with wooden moldings finished with white duco coat running all through the room walls, bringing in the ethnic look all together. We also created a mandir cum storage unit just beside their existing bed, which you will notice that it is not distinguishable that is it existing or it is the one we made new, as the finish you can notice is very similar to the existing bed. They had an existing door in the balcony which we suggested to keep it open using the foldable fittings, which made the balcony accessible from master bedroom and the wide opening to this. Well, so this is the guest room of the property, and as you can see, the color scheme we have basically kept white, and with that white we have kept dark color to complement it. Well, this room is a total replica of its 3D design that was made and finalized. Not only this room, we have tried making the property at least 90% look similar to the 3D design that was finalized before the execution of the property. We wanted to keep this look of the shutter undivided. So instead of a loft, we have provided a drawer in the bottom, which is more useful. Well, they wanted a puja unit somewhere in the property, so we suggested them to keep it right here in the guest room. And keeping it different from other puja units, we have provided a jali work, traditional jali work, and keeping this box niches we have made using a high gloss wooden finish laminate. We also have used onyx to make it look much more bright. The ceiling POP panel, which is having tray on all the 3 sides, has been pulled down across the wall using a ply and a duco finish over it to give it a different and a nice look.